You're watching The Shift with 𝗙𝗪𝗟, a show that touches on everything around sustainability. The Klang River, once considered amongst the 50 most dirtiest rivers in the world, thanks to Landasan Lumayan, master developer of the Selangor Maritime Gateway initiative, has managed to reduce over 60% of the total annual waste collected. Talking about this today, we have Syaiful Azmen Nordin, Managing Director of Landasan Lumayan. Nice to have you on, Shazmin. You know, the Selangor government started cleaning the Klang River in 2016 and then accelerated with the Selangor Maritime Gateway initiative in 2018. So maybe take us back and tell us about this initiative.
Thank you, Freda, and good morning. We started just by cleaning the river. The pollution issue was very tough way back in 2018. But after a few years of cleaning the river, we realized that it's just not to clean the river. It goes beyond that.
Okay.
It is more into how can we look into developing economy for the state, environmental preservation, water security, climate change, addressing climate change, and also biodiversity loss. And also, how can we unlock the development potential of state lands along the river for the benefit of roughly 2 million population live along the Klang River. And 25 industries identified, located along the Klang River.
Okay.
And what unique about the Klang River is that it flows through 6 municipalities from Ampang Jaya di BKL, Petaling Jaya, Subang Jaya, and Shah Alam and PK. And the combined revenue of all these local authorities close to 4.3 billion. It's higher than Selangor State Government's revenue.
Right. Okay. So that is I guess the potential you're saying, the potential of it, right? So so I understand that phase 1 of the initiative ended last year. So tell us about the progress so far and in improving and reviving Klang River, because I think it's also exciting as you're not just cleaning the river, you're also helping to boost the economy as well.
In terms of the river cleaning, the construction of we call it river infrastructure was completed back in 2019. We constructed 7 units of, we call it log booms. It's a waste trap. And install 4 units of water quality monitoring station along the Klang River. And via our collaboration with the Ocean Cleanup, we deployed 2 units of interceptor. One is sponsored by 𝗘𝗩𝗧𝗀.
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank you, 𝗘𝗩𝗧𝗀.
And the impact until 2022, we have removed about 87,000 metric ton of waste.
Wow.
From the Klang River. And in terms of the water quality, we managed to achieve 60% of the numbers of days in a year, the water quality at class 3 and above.
Right.
As compared to before we do the river cleaning, consistently class 5, which is very polluted.
Wow. Okay.
Then in terms of development, we have completed the construction of 2 catalyst projects. One is Taman Awam Pengkalan Batu, and also a mangrove point, 70 acres of mangrove point, the only mangrove area located along the Klang River. And we had identified 25 plots of land, state land, potentially to be developed. And out of 25 plots, 4 plots measuring approximately 79 acres is in the midst of obtaining planning approval from the authorities. So that is the status as of 2023.
And as you go through the different phases, when is the final phase, so to speak?
The final phase will be we're targeting by 2030.
2030, okay,
Yeah.
where everybody's talking about it, right? Now, as the MD of Landasan Lumayan, with a heavy mandate by the Selangor government to clean the river that's considered one of the 50 most dirtiest rivers in the world, what challenges or barriers have you encountered during the implementation so far? And what have you learned is the best approach in river management? Because it's not easy, what you've done, right? But I think people need to know the stories.
The main challenge is the profile of the river itself.
Okay,
The Klang River is 120 kilometers.
okay,
It's a very long river as compared to any other river in Selangor. And along the river, as I mentioned earlier, we have close to 2 million population, 25 industrial areas, and also 13 tributaries.
okay.
So there's a lot of issues, not only the pollution, but also how can the Klang River handle the capacity of excess water from the upstream.
Right.
So that is the main challenge. The second challenge that we face is that there are more than 10 authorities or agencies involved,
Okay.
and they are fragmented.
Right.
We have an experience at the early stage whereby we discuss about the waste, river waste. Then this agency, everybody keep on pointing fingers.
Okay.
So we just told them, okay, don't gaduh-gaduh. Let us settle the problem,
Right.
and we see how can we expand or
Right.
elevate our project
Right.
later on. And the third one, of course, this river rehabilitation or river development requires huge amount of investment. We learn from Singapore.
Right.
Unofficial figures, they've spent back in 1980s close to 200 Sing dollar.
Right.
And we have a River of Life project, billions of dollars spent. And also Melaka River, even Melaka River is only 3.5 kilometer, but hundreds of millions of dollars spent on the infrastructure.
Right.
So, and how to overcome strategies to undertake these challenges. Number one, we have to, when we started this project, we know we have to set the right vision. Do we want just to clean and rehabilitate the river for recreational purposes?
Right.
For tourism purposes?
Right.
Or for economic development? Then we can plan our action plan, the key action plan that we are going to do. Next thing is to prioritize the action plan. As I mentioned to you, it's a 120 kilometer river. You cannot do everything
At once. Yeah.
at once. So we started to tackle the most pressing issues, which is river pollution.
Right.
Then we started the river cleaning and all that. Then in terms of the minimizing our financial exposure or state government's exposure, we need to implement the initiative by setting the business strategy at the forefront. So everything we do, we have to look in terms of the financial sustainability.
Right.
It cannot be, yes, of course, initial investment.
Yes.
Government need to do some initial investment, but in the long run, to make this project sustainable, we have to look from the business perspective.
Right. Okay, so very interesting. So you were mentioning as well, right? And I was going to ask, how is the river so dirty in the first place? So it's a combination of people, it's a combination of factories. How did we get to be, 50 most dirtiest in the first place?
You see, Klang River once, during the old days, the golden days, was the main transportation network from Port Klang to KL. There was a story. It took 4 days to travel, 2 days to KL and 2 days back to Klang River.
Right.
By sampan.
Okay.
So, and I've read somewhere there was a steam steamship
Okay.
up to even PJ
Okay.
from Klang.
Right.
But when we move into Malaysia, move into industrialization,
Right.
there are many industrial areas
Right.
open up along the river.
Okay.
And we don't take river as the priority as compared to other countries.
Right. Okay. So this is, of course, Selangor. We have a lot of industries and factories and what have you, right? So how does a holistic river management approach contribute to achieving water security and addressing biodiversity loss in our river? Maybe you can share some initiatives or strategies undertaken as part of this approach.
Okay, further, when we talk about water security, it's all about ensuring the quality and the quantity of Klang River right at all times.
Right.
So since November 2022, apart from doing the river cleaning, we have started a river dredging project to enhance the capacity of the Klang River to handle excess water from 13 tributaries, from the smart tunnel, from the upstream and all that. The failure of the Klang River to handle the excess water contributed to the big flood in 2021.
Yes.
The big flood in 2021. Not only from the upstream, but from all these 13 tributaries. So since November 2022, we have started a river dredging to enhance the capacity and to ensure the Klang River maintain the water level, be able to maintain the water level. And surprisingly, when we dredge the river, 3 to 5 meters underneath the river, we still find waste.
Okay.
3 to 5 meters underneath the river. So we thought that once we clear rubbish waste on the surface, there is no more waste.
But underneath?
Underneath.
Oh, wow.
So 3,000 metric ton of dredge material removed from the river, 30% is plastics.
Okay.
So 30% equivalent to about 18,000 metric tons of weight.
Underneath that.
Yes.
And you see, like when you pointed that picture, right, the floods, it's because of this.
Yes.
Then
one of the main factors.
Major
factor. Because of the Klang River.
Can't hold it.
Cannot handle the excess water coming from the upstream.
I think when it, unfortunately, sometimes we have to see something like this, then we realize how important it is in terms of the management, right? Now, in the context of climate change, right, what measures have been implemented to make the Klang River and the Selangor Maritime Gateway more resilient? How do you align it back to the SDGs? Is it just, SDG 6, which is clean water and sanitation, or more than that?
Yeah. Actually, it's not only SDG 6. Based on our assessment, we are aligned to 12 SDGs.
Right.
Clean water, life below water, biodiversity and all that. But it cannot be self-claimed. So recently, we had signed a collaboration with United Nations Global Compact, Malaysia and Brunei to formulate SDG framework.
Right.
So that they can identify which project, example like river cleaning, which SDGs that we comply, that we are aligned to. And then they will do some form of validation. So I think that will give more credibility and enhance our reputation rather than by claiming our self-claim. I think it's not that strong enough for public to acknowledge what we have done so far.
But I think I've been on that river and I've seen what it is and then to see the work, right? So until you physically go to a river, it's like, wow, it's very, I am impressed, right? And I'm not just saying that because you're a guest. Now, people always think it's authorities' problem, not my personal responsibility, right? How can we bring home the message that clean rivers are everyone's concern?
Okay, Freda. 87,000 metric ton of waste removed from the river for the past 4 years. The cost to remove river waste, is RM250 per ton.
Okay.
RM250 per ton.
Okay.
So 87,000 times 250,
ringgit.
21.7 million spent just to remove the river, the waste from the river. So 21.7 million government spent using whose money?
Yes.
Taxpayers' money. So the message is basically we are using our own money to clean up our own mess.
Yeah.
Because river does not generate waste. The waste is from us.
Right. Right. So I like how you put that. So it's 250 ringgit for every ton which you can save.
Yeah.
Your tax money could be better spent in other things if you are personally responsible for that. Okay. Can you elaborate on the significance of private, public, and civil society organization collaborations in the efforts to achieve a higher level of sustainability and water security for the Klang rivers? And maybe examples of successful collaborations and their outcomes.
From the very beginning, we acknowledge that all the campaigns and all that cannot be just one-off.
Yes.
It has to be ongoing. And if we targeting local resident, the tendency is that it's just going to be a one-off or gotong royong project.
Right.
So from the very beginning, we try to approach cooperation.
Right.
The recent project that we have with Nestle, Malaysia Berhad, to do the waste recovery. So they come up with their own allocation. We hire local people and we pay some token to them to clean the plastics and all that. And that initiative, pilot project that we have done in 2022, managed to divert 250,000 plastic from the landfill.
Right.
So clean and we send it to the recyclers. So 250,000 metric ton, 250,000 plastics diverted from the landfill. And now we are looking to expand the initiative that we have with Nestle Malaysia Berhad to other parts of the rivers to other parts of the Klang River.
Right. And looking ahead, right? And you're saying that hopefully everything is sorted by 2030. What are the future plans for Selangor Maritime Gateway? And how do you envision these efforts contributing to long-term water security, biodiversity conservation, and climate resilience in this whole Klang River basin?
In Selangor, 90% of the raw water supply comes from river.
Okay.
We are doing river cleaning, rehabilitation in Sungai Klang, but it's only tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Tip of the iceberg. So we need to go beyond just the Klang River.
Right.
We need to look into Sungai Langat, which is also the source of raw water.
Right.
Sungai Selangor, Sungai Semenyih and all that.
Right.
So Landasan Lumayan, SMG, for the next maybe 5 to 10 years, we have to expand our collaboration.
Right.
And then we can ensure helping government to improve the quality of our treated water, so that it can be supplied to domestic and industry.
And so everything has a ripple effect, right? If you don't take care of this, it affects your life in so many ways. But I think we need to talk a lot more about this. So, and I want to say this again, right? And you brought home a very important message earlier on, but how can the community at large play their part to ensure that we have clean rivers?
I think they have to take some form of ownership and responsibility. Like one community in Taman Melawati, Friends of River, Taman Melawati, they take ownership of some part of the upstream river.
Right.
And with the help from the government, from the companies, they do a lot of awareness program. And also the community should leverage on the economic potential of the Klang River. We had one program in collaboration with Persatuan Nelayan Pelabuhan Klang.
Okay.
They conduct a river educational trip, and they are making a lot of extra income by bringing people to see how do we clean a river.
Right.
And indirectly, all these the boat operators previously were quite shy, but now they can brief. They are our spokesperson.
Okay.
Actually, they are our spokesperson.
Right.
So since 2022, we receive close to 2,000 visitors from 50 corporations.
Right.
Not only from Malaysia but also from overseas.
Okay.
To look the real situation of the Klang River.
And then I guess in that sense as well, it's also income generating.
Yes.
Right? And then hopefully when 𝗘𝗡𝗧𝗧 comes to Malaysia, they will also visit the river.
I wish.
Thank you for the work that you're doing. And of course, this is Landasan Lumayan and talking about the Selangor Maritime Gateway. And just remember, 250 ringgit to remove 1 kilo,
1 metric ton.
1 metric ton, right? And that money could be spent better. We all play our part.
Yes.
So thank you so much. You've been watching The Shift with Frida Liu.